Yo, welcome to the show. Gather round, listen close. We got George, Brock, and J.A. bringing you the most NFL podcast. It's about to go down. Three amigos ready to run this town. Welcome to the Ball Studio, where the fun begins. George, Brock, and Jay talking NFL with their friends. So grab a drink, sit back, let's dive into the show. The Ball Studio, fam, we're ready to go. Let's go.
Oh, welcome all to the Vault Studio podcast, our post Super Bowl recap. I'm joined by a current champion, me and Georgie boy, the two Eagles lovers. We picked them, Georgie. Me and you, mate. Me and you picked them, mate. Me and you.
I saw you on Sunday Night Red Cup betting. You're like, nah, I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm taking the points. I'm taking Mahomes to do this.
Hey, I didn't take the points. I just took the Chiefs.
All this other bullshit.
Hey, I was chasing my losses.
Yeah, well,
I went 0-9 in the playoffs, man. I was chasing fucking losses.
That's
here.
definitely the way to gamble correctly. You chase and you keep on chasing.
Hey,
No, we all won, George. If one wins, we all win.
we're a family, George.
Yeah,
Ohana.
we're a family here at
Winners
the Vault.
are fucking grinners.
They work.
And I said to you pre-show, the best part of all this was watching Mahomes cry on the sideline.
Watching his devastation.
Watching Mahomes cry. Watching Kelsey just in absolute bemusement with his gay fucking haircut. Watching his ugly soon-to-be fiance getting booed in the stands.
That was a bit harsh.
And watching-
ugly.
Why did
watching-
she get booed?
Because
Philly
everyone
fans
hates
are
everyone's sick of her, bro. And
Yeah, but it's not her fault.
watching the players-
NFL putting her on the screen. She's allowed to go to the games.
I didn't say she wasn't allowed to go to the games, but also the fans have paid their money and they're allowed to boo. And they booed her.
That's very true.
It's just small dick energy.
It's real small dick
The
energy.
best part was watching all the Chiefs players sitting on the bench in complete and utter shock and utter bemusement, looking around like, what day is it? What time is it? What's my name? Can I even play football? Like, is this maybe I should have taken that accounting degree? Like, I don't know. It was fucking
A lot of them have 2 rings, so I think they're still okay.
They're still
one
okay,
game.
but it was still good to see.
It's one game.
It was still good to see.
Oh, look, there's nothing better. I've seen Jason Kelsey talk about during the week. There's no worse feeling than losing a Super Bowl, and there's no better feeling than winning one. The Chiefs have had a pretty good run of it the last 5 years. They've won 3 Super Bowls in 5 years. They've been to 4 or 5 Super Bowls in 5 years.
Yeah.
So like, if you're a Chiefs fan, just get over it. Accept your loss. Stop sooking.
Except the ass
just-
whooping that you just got.
and just move on. It happens. Like you
I think the genuine fans have.
a lot of them have.
The tag along friends. The tag along fans are the ones that are sooking the most.
Before we get into it, I've just written something here that I want to read out.
Okay, should we mute it? We'll mute
No,
ourselves.
there's no need for you to mute. No need at all.
Okay.
We're all a family here. We're in the club, we're all fam, as you know. There's a couple of things I want to read here, and then after that, you guys can have open slate. Is that okay?
All right, you take the wheel.
So I just want to say, this is what happens when the NFL props up a mediocre team all season long and puts them up against an elite team from top to bottom. You get the biggest demolition job that I've ever seen on Super Bowl day. The only people that thought this team was any good were Chiefs fans, when in reality, they're the worst 15-2 team ever, and their performance in the big game proved it. Unlike Philly, who, in my opinion, have been the best team all year, they came in laser-focused and rammed it straight down their throats from the start. For the second time on the game's biggest stage, Hurts easily outplayed Mahomes, and this time he got the championship ring he deserves. Hurts has been much maligned all season long, but was clearly excellent and was a fantastic counterpart to the Eagles' unbelievable pass rush, which generated 10 QB hits, 6 sacks with 0 blitzes. From now on, whenever anyone has anything to say about Hurts, they better preface it with Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP, Jalen Hurts. And while they're at it, Super Bowl winning coach, Nick Sirianni. Thank you.
I'm just saying the backflip on you and Sirianni is fucking outstanding. Are you going to the next Olympics with it? Because you might give Simone Biles a real big fucking run for her money.
What about the
That's-
Super Bowl?
hey,
In the
that's-
start of the
like
year,
Sirianni.
you
That's-
hated Sirianni.
That's Super Bowl winning coach.
Okay,
Nick
Super Bowl
Sirianni.
winning coach.
What about Super Bowl winning Kenny Pickett?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey.
Hurts was so bad he couldn't even finish the game out of it. Like,
shut up.
Just another championship game where
Imagine-
Hurts can't finish.
Imagine how much of a beatdown you're dishing out that halfway through the fourth quarter, they pull their starting quarterback in the fucking
Yeah,
Super
all
Bowl.
the reserves played. Even Kansas City's reserves.
Just give the kid some reps.
In the Super Bowl, we're giving the kid reps, bro. What an embarrassment.
It wasn't on my bingo card for Kenny Pickett to get reps in the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
The only thing
That's
I'll
how much
say
of
on
a beatdown.
Hurts, the only thing I'll say on Super Bowl winning and Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts, because I'll give respect where respect's due.
Please do.
I think he is almost the best product of a team in the history of NFL quarterbacks in Super Bowl. I don't think he's the worst quarterback to win a Super Bowl ever, by nowhere near that mark. I know I said I was calling him Jalen Dilfer and that sort of stuff. That was tongue in cheek. I don't think he's a
Obviously.
bad quarterback
Yeah.
at all. But I think this is where teams, and this isn't a go. People shouldn't be blaming Jalen Hurts because he's the product of his environment. Teams should be looking at what the Philly. I'm pointing over here because we have a. I stole a
We have a
Jalen
cutout
Hurts.
of-
I have a Jalen Hurts cutout.
Brock's got
that our
Brock's got a
sponsors
beautiful clip to show.
that our sponsors, the Sporting Globe Chirnside Park, gave
Shout
to
out
us.
to Sporting Globe.
Shout out to Davey Boy for giving that to us.
Sorry,
Rip it,
I couldn't be there, Dave. Thank you for understanding.
Yes, and then so my only thing is, it's not his fault that he's the product of one of the greatest teams in the history of the NFL, and he was just the guy that was leading it. But in
Is that
fairness,
Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts going to come down and sit down on the couch?
He's going to join us on the couch for a couple of
I
minutes.
was hoping he was going to come sit on my lap anyway.
I can bend him and drill a hole in for you so he can prop on you.
You leave it to me, bro. I'll sort it
Okay,
out
you sort
myself.
it out. That's
Let's
all.
have some alone time.
But every NFL team should be looking at this and going, if you can find a quarterback with multiple skill sets, I don't think Jalen Hurts is the best running quarterback, the best passing quarterback, or the best
Dual threat.
efficient quarterback in the
Yeah.
NFL. But I think with the team around him, his ability to be like, I don't have to do it all with this team. Too many quarterbacks get caught up in, I've got to carry the team, I've got to do everything.
Yes. I think too many organizations get caught up
Exactly.
in
If
that
you
too.
build a good team around a competent player that can do multiple things for you at a good level, which
Yep.
is what Jalen Hurts does. He doesn't turn the ball over this season, which has been the biggest turnaround in his career to now, because in the past, that was his big issue. He turned the ball over.
Agreed.
He hasn't turned the ball over all playoffs, and he's allowed his dominant defense, his dominant running game, and his dominant offensive line to do what they need to do. And he's been comfortable sitting there and not having to do it all. He doesn't care about yards. He doesn't care about touchdowns. He would never get a play call in and go, I want to score.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. He'll run the tush push, which is a bullshit play, not because it's the Eagles, because of the rules, but he'll run it and risk himself getting hurt and run it hard and do all the right things, which, again, not a lot of quarterbacks do, or not a lot of organizations do, because they don't want to hurt their guy.
They also don't have the guy that can squat
That can-
600
Exactly.
pounds.
And they don't have him.
Thank
So
you.
they have built a team that suits the quarterback they
That
have.
magnifies his skill
100%.
sets and nullifies as best as they can his
Yep.
weaknesses, because every player has strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly. And Jalen Hurts, I truly believe he's not going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. He might be on the verge of it. If he can win a few Super Bowls, he could be like an Eli Manning sort of guy,
Yeah,
where he
sure.
could get in because of success.
Sure.
But he is going to be the product of his environment, and there is nothing fucking wrong with that. So if you're upset by that, if you're upset by Jalen Hurts, that's on you, and that's on your teams, organizations, that they can't do that. As a Cowboys fan, I think Prescott has a lot of similar traits to Jalen Hurts,
Sure.
and they have failed him for the past decade, whatever it is, 9
I
years.
don't disagree with that. They do have very similar skill sets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you put him on that team, Prescott's probably we're having the same conversation about Prescott going, well, he's not that good. Well, he's a Super Bowl champion, so
Yeah.
you can shut.
Well,
up
he was
about it.
almost an MVP
Exactly
the year before last.
because of the product of his environment. They actually built a team around him
Yeah.
that suited him.
And one thing you cannot say is that he doesn't show up in the big game.
No,
The guy, whether you like it or not, the guy's a winner.
Yep.
And the stats prove it. The performances prove it.
Yep.
Because his two best games ever, or his three best games ever, have been the two Super Bowls and the NFC Championship game last week.
that's fair enough.
So he shows up in big games, and that's part of being a good leader
Yep.
and being a good winner.
And that's it. If you're upset by that as an NFL fan, that's on you, big guys. That's on you. All
Yeah.
Bills, whatever. That's on you guys.
He wasn't perfect yesterday.
No.
He had that bad pick,
Yep.
which could have cost him because it was a precarious time in the game.
Yep.
Luckily, the defense held up, and it was a quick 3 and out. Luckily, but
Didn't they throw a pick on that? They threw on the pick on the next drive.
No, they didn't.
they just went. They had like 4 or 5 plays and went out.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, yeah. So, but he was great yesterday. When the throws, because the Spags defense did exactly what we all said they were going to do, is that they took away their run and
Yep.
they said, Jalen, beat us with your arm,
Yep.
beat us with your legs,
Yep.
and he did.
Yeah, and that's all I'm saying. Like if
Yeah,
you're upset by it, that's on you.
300 total yards, 2 passing TDs, 1 rushing TD.
Yep.
I said before the game, he rushed for 72 yards, which beat his own record for Super Bowl rushing yards.
Yep.
Like the guy had a hell of a game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Made all the throws when they were there to be made.
Yep.
Made the right reads, protected the ball, took the sacks when he needed to not turn it over. Like he did everything right.
Yep.
So again, if you want to hate on him. That's fine.
No,
I'm not,
you can't
I'm not
hate
here
on
to
him.
convince anybody to like him or not like him. That's not my
No,
job.
that's probably just the public's expectation of what a winning quarterback should do.
Thank you,
Sure.
Scotty.
And
Okay.
it's
how
not
you've
what
nailed
he
it.
does.
That
No.
I agree with.
So
That's very
everyone's
fair.
expecting, Burrow, Allen, Lamar,
To throw for 400
Mahomes.
yards and 14
or just to use every inch of like blade of grass on the field and just run it and pass it 35 times at 70% and have 400 yards and 3 tutties. That's just not what he does.
No, that's not what he does. But he never
even
has
when
been
the-
that guy.
No.
And even when Spags took away the run, which he did a very good job of taking away the run,
Honestly, they did a fantastic job of taking away the run.
and then Hurts just didn't force any. Like he had a few real bad shaky throws and whatnot that were severely underthrown. One was
he had that one underthrown to AJ on the left sideline. That was a bad throw.
that was
Luckily,
about
he
20
didn't turn
yards
into anything.
underthrown.
He had that bad pick when the rusher was right in his
Yeah.
face.
And then the Goddard one where he got the penalty. The reason they got the penalty because the throw was so bad.
The throw was
Goddard-
he really
Goddard was open.
it was borderline uncatchable. Should have
Yeah.
been borderline uncatchable.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And also for the Chiefs fans, if you're going to get upset about that, I agree that call on Goddard was stupid. Chiefs fans, you can't be pissed off by it. It was
never.
in the first quarter. You cannot be upset by it. You can never, Chiefs. You can never blame a ref in your entire lives. You cannot blame.
They've
refs.
had a lot of black magic go their way these
Exactly.
last few years,
You
mate.
cannot blame refs. Simple as that. You can't take it when
they
it's there and then blame.
They can, but you're a loser. Like if you
Exactly. Like you need to just cop it on the chin and cop it. But like I said, if you're upset by Jalen Hurts being a Super Bowl quarterback, that's on you. I like to enjoy. I choose to enjoy moments like that.
Yep.
I think that was a great moment for him. He's a good leader, very likable. His teammates love him. He deserves some flowers at some point. Much like when Jason Kelsey won his Super Bowl. Like these guys deserve these flowers. Like, and I can't stand the Eagles, as we all know, as a Cowboys fan.
You're
I
a
hate
division
them.
rival. Like, of
And
course not.
If I can sit here and have the mental capacity to go credit where credit's due,
Like the
you
guy
need to
played
do
well. Like the guy played well.
Yeah.
Like you can't say he didn't play
For
well.
his expectations. On
But like
what
I said,
his realistic expectations were going into the game.
for him.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah, I actually think he exceeded what I thought.
For 300 total yards and 3 tutties, you'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah.
Any quarterback will take it.
Yeah.
Again, don't look at the passing numbers because he's not a pass first quarterback. He's always going to be that power running quarterback that's going to move the pocket, bootleg out, use his legs, all the good stuff.
Yeah, it was much like what Cam Newton was. Cam
Pretty
Newton
much.
was a terrible.
You know what I like?
quarterback.
You know what I like in Jalen
Kevin
Hurts?
wasn't a terrible
His
passer.
career completion percentage is like 60%.
You know what I like? You know
He
what I
was
like
not
in
a
Jalen Hurts
prolific
too?
passer.
I heard this on Rich Eisen's podcast and I liked it.
Hmm.
Think of a young first 4 or 5 years. His career and Russell Wilson's career are basically identical. And even their style of play.
Oh, Russell
I
used to
do-
take a lot of deep shots.
Yeah,
So does Hurts. Hurts throws a beautiful deep ball.
that's
Mm,
you might be.
You're reaching.
Russell
I think
Wilson's
so.
probably a better overall quarterback.
yeah, Russell.
And then he
Wilson
had a-
was even small.
And then Jalen Hurts is probably a better rusher, but Russell Wilson.
You got to forget, like Russell Wilson was MVP contention for 3 or 4, 5
Yeah.
years. Like he was one of the best quarterbacks in
That
football.
was after the Legion of Boom stuff.
No.
maybe the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he was in contention of
Because
like,
Seattle
this
changed
guy-
their
he was a
identity to an
genuine good player.
offensive first team
Yeah.
because they had Russ.
Yeah, the Russ's problem was that if Russ was built like Jalen Hurts, he probably won 3 or 4 Super Bowls. Like
Yeah.
in fairness, to him.
Yeah.
Just a
because
bit more
that's what
bigger and
Jalen Hurts' greatest
Bigger
asset
and a
is.
bit more.
And you know
powerful,
what? What does Jalen Hurts do? He uses it.
Yeah, he does.
He got dinged up in the NFC Championship game. Did he look dinged up? No,
Not
he
at all.
probably was. He was probably dinged up, but he doesn't.
I
act
would
like
say
it.
that every player
At
after
that point was probably
yeah,
dinged up.
if you get to the Super Bowl and you don't have some sort of nagging injury, you're not getting.
Well, you're
that
playing
done.
another
Yeah.
quarter of a season.
Yeah.
Like, I know everyone. Oh, it's only 4 games or 3 games. It's a quarter of an
huge.
NFL season.
No. It's a significant amount.
Yeah.
If you're not dinged up after week 14, there's something wrong with
Bro,
it.
Yeah.
I get dinged up after week 2.
Yeah.
Your calf gets somewhat getting out of the car.
Yeah, it does.
Preseason.
Can we talk?
I don't do
One thing I
preseason.
do want to talk about, and I want to give some credit to some Chiefs as well. I thought and I'll highlight why I thought Spags was hard done by in this game. He got the first touchdown. Yep, that penalty, whatever it happens, but that touchdown came off that penalty on a 3rd down play. So that was a
3rd and 26.
A third-
On got it.
on
Yeah.
got it. So then they get a touchdown off that. Again, they could have stopped them after that, but they couldn't, and it happens, right? Then they give up a field goal, whatever. Then you've got the pick six to our boy Cooper DeJean, the great white hope. I gotta tell you, George, the room went off. I was almost on a table when Cooper DeJean picked that off.
That was probably the worst throw I've ever seen Mahomes make ever. He was out. He was rolling out right. He had a completely clear view in front of him.
Yeah,
and
he just didn't see him.
How could you not see him? He threw it right at him.
I think Mahomes is colorblind.
Just white.
I think he literally was like, he's like that white kid's not going to get to that ball.
Bro, he threw it right at him like he was his own receiver.
It was amazing. So then, they get that pick six, and then the next drive, he throws that interception to Zach Bourne.
No, it's the fumble, I think.
Either way, they get literally 21
and then
points.
There was they get 21 points.
They get 21 points off a bad penalty and 2 turnovers. One directly to a touchdown, one where they had no chance when you get on the 15 yard line. It was in the 15 yard line, yeah. So I think Spags could have walked into that. And that's why I think the Chiefs were so shell-shocked. So I think the defense have gone, if they'd gone in, say they went in, the pick six happened, and then Mahomes drives and scores, we all thought was going to happen, and then Mahomes getting the ball back, and they've seen some life from the offense. Instead,
at halftime, you're talking about.
At halftime. Instead, they go in 24 points down with Mahomes playing the worst game possible. The O-line cannot block a soul. Receivers are dropping balls. Like, that's why they were shell-shocked. Because normally if you're having a bad moment, you'd be like, Mahomes has got it.
I think the secondary,
didn't have him.
Their linebackers played really well.
Bolton was outstanding.
Yeah, he was really good. He was easily their best player, in my opinion.
He was.
Yeah. And but I think the secondary was shell-shocked. I don't think that they could cover our receivers.
Oh, McDuffie played pretty well.
Duffy did well.
No, he lost a lot of.
Reed was all right too. Reed was smoking Saquon down at the line of scrimmage.
Shout out to Brock.
Shout out to my boy Cooper.
Yeah, shout out.
But I just think Spags, and then the second half was the second half. Like, by that point, they were selling out to stop the run because the Eagles were going to do it all game.
Yeah.
It led to a couple of deep shots, which hurt them. But the bottom line is that the complete incompetence of that Chiefs offense against that Eagles defense.
And Andy Reid.
Andy Reid got outcoached.
He could not dial up. And as you said, 6 sacks and 10 pressures with 0 blitzes.
Yeah.
The fact that he didn't have to blitz for an entire game against Patrick Mahomes and generate that sort of pressure is outrageous.
And it was interesting as well, leading into the Vic Fangio part. When he was at Miami, he blitzed Mahomes more than anyone else.
Yep, right. That was his game plan.
And was somewhat effective at doing it. And now he had a more dominant performance with just a 4-man rush. Speaks to the Eagles D-line.
The Eagles D-line.
Yeah. And how they just literally...
Sorry, Brock, what do you want to say?
It's a case of Mahomes. The receivers Mahomes has at the moment aren't that good. He doesn't trust them for deep balls. He doesn't have Tyreek Hill anymore where he could just throw the ball deep and someone could get onto it. Without Rashid Rice, that's a massive loss for him.
Sure.
Because he had no actual speed guys. Like, they had...
We know Rashid Rice can speed around.
Yeah. Hollywood Brown is 5'10", weighing...
Well,
he was also injured all year.
The best thing, he doesn't trust him to throw a deep ball to him.
Yeah.
So
Worthy's not there yet.
He didn't throw the ball deep the whole game.
Well, to be fair, he was having someone in his face the second his back foot plants to throw the ball. So that takes... anything deeper than 15 yards away.
Even the throws he wasn't pressured, he was missing. He was missing
he was shell-shocked.
There was a play where he had Hopkins one-on-one, and I don't know who he was one-on-one with. They showed he went to throw it, like he actually stepped in, and throw Hop, and then was like, no, and then went to dump it down and missed the running back by like 6 yards.
Yep.
And the running back was like, when I saw you winding up, I started moving because I'm like, he's throwing it deep.
Yep.
Oh God.
We've had a technical issue here. Brock's just ticked the table over. Too much Eagles talk.
That's all right. Keep talking, boys. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just pause it and then...
No, that's right. Just keep going. Just got to swap the battery. That's my fault. I didn't put the good battery in. No, I just think that, I all in all, the Chiefs, the biggest shock of this was just how bad that Chiefs offense was.
And we spoke about it briefly. Andy Reid didn't change up anything, didn't introduce any screen game, which is a good nullifier to a pass rush that is bringing the heat. Didn't bring a tight end in too often. Didn't run a 2-back set.
Yep.
There's a few
completely went away from the run. Brock told us before the show they had their backs had 7 carries for the game.
Well, that's the game plans, the script of the game, getting away from him a little bit as well.
Sure,
but it just didn't scheme up anything to nullify the pass rush at all, which was very shocking to watch.
Very unread-like.
Yeah, and
very unread-like.
It sort of made the game like a bit of a like a fizzer, really, to be honest.
Well,
Like, if you're an
not
NFL
for me.
fan-
Not for me. It was
No, but if
great.
you're an NFL fan, like I don't have a horse in the race.
Yeah, true.
Like I would have been happy either way for either team to win. I would have been happy for Philly to get one, and I would have been happy for Kansas City to win 3 in a row to be
Sure.
part of history.
Sure.
I would have been happy either way. I felt like Kansas City probably had the edge. Obviously, we saw that they didn't, but
They clearly didn't, as we said in the pregame.
Yeah.
I told you in the pregame they didn't. We're better in every position.
I was just shocked at how bad Mahomes was. I thought he could.
I don't think
outlasted.
any person that had half a brain cell would have predicted Mahomes to be that bad.
No.
He's never shown that before.
Like, and they got going in the second half when I know it was all over, but then you
was
saw him
over,
taking
yeah.
deep shots, and you're like, well, yeah, I know it's late in the game, but why weren't you just trying to do more of that early? Like, take some chances. At least make the Eagles' defense go, well, he's throwing it deep. We have to account for
Because
this.
Scotty said it. He was shell shocked.
Yeah.
He just got the brakes beat off him, and he just didn't know what to do.
He did look like that when they lost to the Bucks as well.
Yeah, he did. I agree with you,
it'd
bro.
been-
But in defense to that as well, he was running around outside of the pocket, launching 40-yard bombs
Yes.
to guys who dropped the ball.
Yes.
And so you hit him on the numbers and they dropped the ball against the Bucks.
Yeah.
But
that-
this
but it was
game,
a-
he didn't do
but it
every
was a-
time he stepped up in the pocket and then thought about running out. There was a guy there.
That was the
swinging
same,
at
that
his
was the same
legs.
pressure, though. That was the same pressure.
But he
Same
just didn't
level
do-
of pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't do anything like
because he couldn't. Because like I saw a TikTok today where
Ooh.
Travis Kelce's meant to block the outside guy.
Oh,
and
okay.
The O line, 3 steps out,
Yeah.
and Kelsey's still in his stance. Sweat goes right past him. He doesn't get anything on him.
Oh wow.
He's
Good.
meant
The
he-
tackle's set for like the inside, thinking he'd have the chip on the outside
Oh,
shoulder,
right.
and Kelsey just didn't touch him, so he
Yeah.
just shot straight around the outside.
So
of him.
Kelsey's meant to
insider trading, you reckon?
Kelsey's meant to chip Kelsey's meant to chip him
Yeah. Okay.
so Humphrey can actually loop around
Wow.
and steal
I
the
think-
backside,
Yeah.
and Sweat just comes straight past him.
I think the
By the
game's
time
gone
he's down
past.
to his,
I think the
stance.
game's gone past old Travis boy.
Oh, I also think like
he played
there,
horrendous.
and we've all played sport, obviously not at the NFL level. We've all played enough sport to know there are sometimes, and you can feel it inside yourself. There's just those days where you're like, nothing is going
Oh,
our way.
And that I feel like that happened with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It just
They didn't have it. They had no juice.
Yeah,
They
that
had-
was a
everything they
week's-
tried didn't work. you
if
know?
that's a week 7 game, they get on the bus and they go, "We are not watching that film.
Yep.
That's not a representation of us.
You bury that
We
film.
will scrunch it up, throw it away. We're going straight into week 8."
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it's the biggest
there's-
game of the year.
300 million eyes on the fucking game, and everyone is an expert when it comes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And the pressure's just too intense. You can't get rid of that game. It's on all of their
No,
history.
that's on their resume forever.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And that meltdown from Mahomes is on his resume forever.
Yeah. I said there was one person that was probably real happy sitting up in that commentating box. It was Tom Brady,
Of course it was.
because he sat there going, you know what, my legacy's real
Yeah.
set,
The
real
GOAT-
sound.
the GOAT debate is over.
Overwatching his
I don't think the GOAT debate's over because still at this point in time between the two players, Mahomes has got the edge.
I feel like Brady's won 9 Super Bowls, right?
7.
7.
He's played in 9.
Oh, he
Played in 10.
9.
He's 7-3.
But Belichick has 8. Oh, because he won one at the Giants. That's his 8.
Yes.
Yeah, with Taylor.
Yeah. Cool.
I'll take
So, well, either way, he's got a lot to catch him now. Brady lost his 3 Super Bowls. He lost. It was a total point differential of 16 points.
Mhm.
Mahomes is 2 he's lost. It's a point differential of 44 points.
Wow. So it's a spanking.
So he's
both.
2 games, the Bucks, and then this game, he's been pumped. And this is where, and I think they're going to be
And to be
fine.
fair, sorry, just quickly,
Yeah.
the scoreline favoured the Chiefs.
Well,
It did flatter him,
because they
yes.
got those couple of late touchdowns against
It was-
the
Yes.
Yeah, I
was-
agree.
It was 40-6 with 5 minutes to go in the
Yep.
fourth
Yes.
quarter. Like
Yep.
the game, there was a very.
I
flattering
think after
scoreline.
that drive where coming out of halftime where Mahomes went 3 and out, I was like, this is done.
I thought it was done when he threw the Zach Bourne interception and they scored, and it was 24-0, and he had a minute 30 to try and score a touchdown before the half and went 3 and out almost
Yeah.
instantly. That was when I was like, well, if they can't produce any sort of offense with it all on the line now, the Eagles defense isn't going to lose energy at halftime. They're
No.
going in gaining energy.
At that
exactly.
point at
It's-
halftime, though, I thought that Reed could scheme up something, and
make
you
it
wouldn't
close.
be shocked that if Mahomes comes out and gets 250 yards in a half.
I 100% agree. That's
So
what
I didn't think it was over at that point, but when they looked as equally as bad on that first drive after in the second half, I was like, oh, they're done.
Yep.
They're actually done. They don't have anything,
They had no juice. They
Yeah.
had nothing. And
and it wasn't their day. And you can give a lot of the credit to the Philly
Yep.
for making it like that for him.
Yep.
But I think there's also like a portion of the coaches deserve some of the blame. And when it's not your day, it's not your day.
No,
Exactly.
I think
It's
all
not
the
your
blame,
day, it's not
all
your
the
day.
blame has to go to Mahomes, because on the flip side, if they won, all the credit would go to him. So all the blame has to go to him.
Oh, and Andy Reid a lot too. Like there was little things they could have done. So Joe Tooney, obviously, he's been having to play. He's an all-pro guard, left guard. He's been having to play left tackle because they just struggled at left tackle, and he's done a decent job. He was getting his ass drummed so badly
By
that
Sweating,
they should have just
yeah.
moved him back into left guard
Yep.
and put any other tackle in, because any other tackle probably would have lost, as much as Tooney was anyway.
Sure.
But then you gain an all-pro guard
Yeah,
back
because
at
you
guard,
bolster
and
up your
then
guards.
try and run up the middle and
Sure.
try something different. They just did nothing different for the entire game.
Yeah.
Like
How much, and this is the point I was going to make pre-show, and I've left it. How much of that is Andy Reid's own hubris, thinking that no, my game plan will win?
Well, I think there's
Yeah.
always an element of that for all these high level guys, that they put so much time and effort into this game plan that the percentages is it will work itself out and we'll win that chess match.
But when you're down 34-0, like at that point, you got to think, surely this isn't.
Yeah,
gonna
you
work
should go to
anymore.
like game plan C or D. I
Yeah.
agree with what you're saying, but I can see
But-
why.
But do you
it
think that
didn't-
he had a game plan B or C?
Oh yeah, I reckon Andy Reid would have had game plan like
Well,
ZZZ.
Where was it then?
That's the disappointing part.
Yeah, they just did nothing. They tried nothing different, and you never know. You could also Andy Reid could have also been sitting. He's coached a long time. He could have been going, yeah, this it doesn't matter what I'm going to do. Here.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. We may as well stick to this because at least we'll just
We've-
try and launch it and see what
Put
happens.
it in our best players' hands and hope for the
okay,
best. Is that what you're
like,
saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's like if we noticed that Kelsey was 3 seconds late off snaps, he's sitting on that sideline going, "What the fuck's
Fuck,
wrong
of
with
course.
Kelsey?"
Yeah,
And then you're in a
Like-
dilemma because you're already getting pumped and you can't like. What do you say to your team when you're dragging Kelsey and you put Noah Gray in as well?
yeah, true.
So like you're sending a message like you said, Andy Reid's coached so much football over our entire lifetime that he
And
just goes,
won
hey,
a lot too.
we don't have this. This is just one of those games. Unfortunately, it's one of those games on a Super Bowl. We've worked on this game plan for 2 weeks. Let's just fire this game plan up and see if we can get some momentum and some drives and string some drives together. And then we've got Patrick Mahomes. Who knows?
And in the
Yeah.
end, you're just going to have to eat it.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
and that's what they have
Exactly,
to do
yeah,
now. And, and this is the beauty of sport. This is what happens sometimes.
So I got 2 clips I want you to play,
Oh yeah,
please.
Yep.
And then I want to talk about the Eagles defense.
but we'll start talking about the Eagles defense, and I'll get the clips because
So I just want to, while James is, I just want to read a couple of little tidbits out.
Yep.
These were the first 2, 3, 6, 7, 9 drives for Kansas City.
Yep.
4 plays, 12 yards, punt, 3 and out, 3 and out, pick 6, 3 and out, pick, 3 and out, 5 plays, 15 yards, punt, 5 plays, 17 yards, turnover on downs. That is an absolute ass spanking.
Yep.
If I've ever seen one. I think it was Rich Eisen said it on his podcast. The Philly defense put Patrick Mahomes over their knee and spanked him, and it was glorious.
I'm trying to find these clips.
What clips are you trying to find?
It was
I don't know.
absolutely glorious.
It's that hard to scroll.
I don't think I've ever seen a more dominant display by a defensive unit in a Super Bowl in my time.
Oh,
Oh,
Seattle.
Seattle against Denver
Seattle,
was pretty
yeah.
dominant. That's what I was going to talk. Yeah, I think.
Fellas, they had 29 yards of offense at halftime.
Yeah, I think Denver Seattle was extremely similar.
Similar.
They had
yeah.
29 yards of offense.
I don't know the
Ravens
exact-
Giants 2000 as well. The
Yeah.
Ravens defense.
Yeah.
They did the
But you're up
Giants
there.
offense did
It's
not.
got to be.
score.
It's got to be fucking up there,
It's
doesn't
up,
it?
Yeah,
it's
it's
up
up
there
there,
with one of the
100%.
all-time great defensive performances. Absolutely.
Another cheeky little stat I've got, which I wanted to play at the end of these clips, but James is taking forever as usual.
Oh, you know when you save things on Messenger and then it just doesn't do it?
Hmm.
Because
Thanks, Zuckerberg. You fucking scumbag, you and your shitty little perm, you fucking Jew.
Jesus.
I just found the one where Josh Allen cries for winning MVP.
Okay.
Oh, that's so sad.
That was sad. Yeah, so this little tidbit I wanted to say just to show you how much of a dominant display this defense put in. The Chiefs did not cross midfield into Philly territory on offense until 2 minutes and 33 seconds left in the third quarter. Basically, for 3/4 of the game, they weren't even they couldn't even get out of their own territory. That's how much of a fucking spanking we put on these bastards.
Yeah,
Fuck, that makes me
That's
so
dominant. Dominant.
All right,
That's-
I've got the first one. Ready?
happy. Please go.
Hang on. Are these me talking?
No. Just play the clip. Can you play?
You connected.
Yeah, I'm connected.
We are sharp here tonight, boys. I love it.
The ball stays in.
Here we go.
I will agree with you on that, Scotty. But that's what dominant defense don't do. They don't let the ball move. The ball stays in your 50s the whole fucking game. That's what the Ravens defense used to do to teams.
Do you want me to play the second one as well?
I'd love for you to play the second one, please, James.
We're on the same point here, Scotty. The Eagles fucking team defense is not that good. The numbers are skewed for the teams they've played. Absolutely, I agree with that. And then when they play good teams, they give up big numbers. They give them up. And if the fucking KC goes 75% from red zone, they don't have to do that. They won't even get to the red zone. They'll beat them before they even get to the red zone.
Can you play my one where I say straight away, we are not on the same page?
Yes.
Don't let that, Scott. Don't let that,
Hey,
Scott.
George, don't worry. I'll hit humble pie. I will hit, but
I just want to know,
who picked them last Tuesday, mate?
what have you got to say in response to that?
Mate, they played absolutely phenomenal. They dominated. Absolutely, they dominated. They made Patrick Mahomes.
James, congratulate Brock. It's the first good take he's had all year.
Congratulations, my friend.
Cap.
No, you had that great take about Kirk Cousins. And then the Bills being an easy
We're going to
win.
talk about Hurts in a minute because even Nick Wright had to eat up a pie. We're going to talk about Jalen Hurts in a minute. Go, continue. Sorry, Brock. Sorry.
Again,
No, they played fucking fantastic. Like 100%. I've already said that on the show, George. I don't know what you're getting here. I've already said they played fantastic.
I just wanted to play the clips because we keep receipts.
So
We want to keep it. I'll post all the clips from you saying Sirianni should be fired at the start of the year then.
all right, let's not turn on each other.
I said that at the end of last year that he should.
It was
have
nice.
you said it.
I think you said it
after
this
the
year
Browns
as well.
loss.
Yeah.
I
No,
had
we
the-
won
no, after the Browns won't win when he had a fight with the crowd. You said it. But then again,
I want to hear that clip because I don't remember saying.
I'll find it for next week.
Please do,
I
please
also
do.
said it too.
We'll have a receipt
And
show.
in
Yeah.
fairness to Sirianni, I think I said it a couple of weeks ago. It was one of our clips that his turnaround this season from the last
Since the head shave,
Yeah.
it's been
like his
perfect.
turnaround as a human. Obviously, the Eagles organization pulled him aside and went, "Shut up." But credit to him, he's done it.
Yep.
And he hasn't. There's been no issues. Also, winning cures everything. Like, it's not going to surprise me if they have a bad
like
year
we've
next year
said,
and he gets fired. It won't
But
surprise
they've
me.
had meltdowns on the sideline where you'd expect, and like I think we said this anyway, but you'd expect Sirianni and the sideline to blow up, but they haven't.
Yeah.
They've just sorted it out, and then they've gone. We've got one goal in mind, and that's to win the last fucking game of the season.
Yep.
And they did it.
2 seasons ago, AJ Brown pulling out that book on the sideline and being a smart
that was
ass
this
because he,
season.
you know,
No,
if he had done that the season when they were
gotcha.
falling apart down the stretch,
Yeah.
it would have been a blow.
it's a complete and utter
But it-
meltdown.
But it was like, read your book, AJ. No one cares.
That's why I said to you, like you guys kept trying to push this narrative over year. Oh, like,
Hang on, I didn't.
no, you. These two.
I still stand. I
these
still
two-
stand.
The
If
meltdown's
they'd
coming,
lost a
the
game
meltdown's coming,
and
the
AJ Brown
meltdown's coming,
sucked,
the meltdown's coming.
if they had lost a game
But it
and
never came.
it never happened, but if they'd lost a game and Hurts had struggled to throw the ball and AJ Brown didn't get the ball, he would have had a meltdown. I guarantee winning cures everything.
I can also see a world if they're 2-3 starting next season that we're almost having the same conversation again.
Yeah.
You're
I
losing Cohen.
don't think so.
You're losing Cohen. So what? Is Sirianni going to hold that all together again?
Who are we losing?
Cohen
Cohen.
Moore.
Cohen.
He's not the glue.
No, but
Vic
no.
Fangio is the fucking
No,
glue.
no. Vic Fangio is the glue on defense. If your defense is not
Yeah, but he's
working-
also an assistant head coach as well.
exactly.
But you just said
Let me
before
let me-
how good Kellen Moore is.
So if your offense doesn't work next year and you start losing games, who's going to get the blame? Like the same thing was going to happen this year. If you guys didn't perform,
If
Sirianni was going to get thrown out the boat.
any team that loses games consistently, the number one person to get the blame is the coach, and number two is the quarterback. That's always been the case in the NFL. It will be no different for Philly. It will be no different for anyone else.
Yeah, you're hired to be fired. That's what it is.
Every-
Except
Yeah,
if
so-
you're in Pittsburgh.
You're well,
So,
You're hired to be mediocre.
I believe they call it cuckberg.
yeah, but they've shot themselves in the foot, or cut their nose off to spite their face because they're stuck in mediocrity
Yeah.
forever.
You reckon they've spider faced it?
Yeah.
Cut their nose off to spider face.
Yeah. So, if that's what they want to do, if that's how they want to run their organization and be irrelevant, good for them.
No, they've won some Super Bowls too. Like back when there was 6 teams. They won a lot back then.
With-
Much like the Dallas Cowboys.
There was
They've won a few
14
in the
teams.
Super. They won a few in the Super
And
Bowl.
going back to your point about next year, I mean, obviously we'll talk about it in the off season, but everyone's under contract, everyone's signed, everyone's solidified.
Good young talent.
Good young
rookies.
talent, good rookies.
I don't have to play Jalen Carter yet.
I
He's
don't
on his
see
third
it.
year.
I
Now they
don't
have to
see
play
a
top
world.
8 rule.
I don't see a world where we're going to be bad next year. I just don't see a world.
yeah,
where
no.
we're
I
gonna
see
be
being
bad.
mediocre.
Nah, I don't
No,
think so.
yeah.
Nah, I
It
think they'll
can't
be
be.
good.
We just got too much talent.
No, but you're going to be playing the best teams. You're not going to have a 20, 21 ranked strength
No,
of schedule.
that's true. There's a lot
Yeah,
more.
You're
There's going to
playing
be
better
tougher.
teams.
They're not mediocre though.
But being like
They're not
can-
mediocre. They might be 12. A 12 winning team instead of 14, but that's still fucking
No, but
elite.
if they play all the top teams
Mm.
and they halve them, that's mediocre in my eyes.
Yeah, we also know that like on the record, right? Like at the start of this season, anyone playing the 49ers would have been like, wow, what a tough game.
Mm.
By
Yeah.
halfway through the season, with how injured they were and how
Mm.
badly they were playing,
100%. And
it was like, oh, they're the worst.
That's
they're
what I was gonna
they're
say.
last in the NFC
That's what I was
West.
going to say in
It
response. There's
fluctuates
too
so
many
much.
variables. There's too many variables.
That's why I hate the record thing, and I hate they haven't beaten anyone with a winning record because when you take the winning record, you take it from the end of the season.
Yeah.
You take it from when they played them, and, and
Yeah.
that team was
Yeah,
3 and
there's
2.
There's
Like
too many variables.
there's so many variables. Everyone wants
Key
to do
injuries
that.
to key guys and like
The bottom line is the NFL is too competitive a comp that if you win games, it's every game's tough. Like
Yeah.
the bloody Saints and Panthers were ruining team seasons down the stretch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like the Panthers were a legitimate like people. Are, I don't want to play this.
And that's what I've and
Yeah,
like
like,
the
it-
narrative
it
has been
turns.
pushed. Oh yeah, like we haven't beaten anyone. And I'm like, they're still NFL teams. And
Yeah,
they still,
look,
they still got to play them, and they still got to beat them.
as when all
And,
teams,
and we went on the road and beat teams on the road, like,
Yeah.
and that's hard to do as well.
as when all teams win a Super Bowl, right? You
Gets
need stuff
dissected.
to go to your way,
Of
right?
course
You
you do.
need a lot of things to go your way because it's that hard to win.
Like the
It's
Green Bay
hardest thing to
fumble.
win in professional sport. But like you need things to go. Now the Eagles had a really good run into the playoffs. Again, it's not their fault the Lions lost.
Yeah.
That's not their fault. It's not their fault Green Bay were all injured. That's not their fault. Like you can
It's
only
not their
play
fault
who you
that
play.
it snowed for the Rams. And
Yeah, like it's
yeah.
that's just the way it goes. Like at the end of the day, Stafford had a chance to win that game late
Had the
and didn't.
ball in the hand to win the
And
game.
didn't.
He did.
So
correct.
you can
He
put
did.
it all in, and the Eagles had to play in the snow too, and they scored 4 more points than them.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do it when it mattered.
Yeah.
And every team has this run. Every team will have these doubts. Like the refs, the Chiefs, it was the refs. I think one thing you nailed was that the Chiefs are the worst 15-2 team in the history
By-
of the NFL.
Easily.
Like they could have easily been 10-7.
Yeah, I
Comfortably.
saw a thing where they could like if all the one scores went the other way, they're
Yeah.
9-7.
But again,
Yeah.
they didn't. And that's why they made the Super Bowl, because they got to run. They got to play at home against tough teams, and they beat them.
Yeah.
That was it. They beat the Bills at home. And, we talked before about, you mentioned Burrow, Lamar, and...
Oh, that was in the group chat.
Yeah, no. Before we were saying about, like teams are constantly... Like Burrow, Lamar, and Josh Allen have all been failed by their teams this season. Burrow by having the worst defense in football, which means he couldn't even get to the playoffs.
He had an
even though
MVP caliber year, couldn't even make the playoffs.
if they made the playoffs, he is the MVP.
I 100%
If
agree.
he wins their division, he is the MVP.
100%
No doubt
correct.
about it. And then Lamar, again, guys, Mark Andrews.
balls.
Again, I love Mark Andrews, but he fucked up in the biggest moment.
Yep.
He stuffed up. Who knows what happens there? And then Josh Allen running those sneaks, his coach failing, keeping calling the same play.
Yep.
And his O-line not being able to block well enough for a 6'6" human bowling ball to get half a
And
yard.
if you saw the difference on our tush push with
You get it every time.
we on the goal line, we were 5 yards into the fucking
100%.
end zone.
Yeah.
We just
It's
mauled
100%.
them.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. And you can pick it apart and choose as much as you want. The bottom line is this in 3 years' time, no one will remember this shit. All they'll remember was the Eagles won 40-20 or whatever it was in the Super Bowl over the Chiefs and ruined the 3
and they mollywhopped them and ruined the
that's
three
all
peat.
anyone will
Yep.
ever remember. So
Yep.
it's all going to be for the next few weeks. It's going to be TikToks and all this crap going, the Eagles got lucky here. The Chiefs got lucky. They all got lucky. To make
Every-
a Super Bowl, you got to have some shit go
Exactly.
your way.
100%.
There
I
is
had
a
a-
little sprinkle of luck on top. There has to
Yes,
be.
and
There
I had a
has to be.
Patriots guy say today, he was like, see why the Chiefs will never be as good as the Patriots because they can't win without the refs. And I was like, what, Brady never got a little chop out from anyone?
Never
Brady-
got a
Brady-
tough rule.
Yeah, and Brady
Yeah.
never got anything go his way.
No,
Come-
no,
come
They
rule one.
literally
Big
made
one.
2 rules for Brady.
Yeah, that's what.
And then we're not even talking about Deflategate and the fucking
Spygate.
Spygate and
Yeah.
all the other stuff that everyone just goes, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Like,
Vinatieri making that kick in the snow.
In
Yeah.
fairness, the Chiefs had 2 rules changed because they were too good.
Yeah.
They changed the overtime rule because Lamar,
Josh
Josh Allen.
Mahomes was too good in overtime.
Yeah.
They were like,
Yeah.
we got to change it. The other team gets a chance.
Mm.
That's it's a great change. That's just good for football.
Good for football.
But that
yeah.
was Mahomes being like, well, if he gets the ball in overtime, he just
It's over.
wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same in the Super Bowl last year. Like,
Yeah.
Shanahan gets annihilated for kicking a field goal in overtime
Well,
instead of going for it.
They get annihilated for not knowing the rule
Yeah,
that you don't want the ball first.
100%.
which was ridiculous. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
that
that's-
was ridiculous.
Yeah.
They did not know that rule.
and that's
No, right. That they did know that rule. It's an excuse. It's just
So-
like Dak Prescott hired Brian Schottenheimer. mate.
One,
It's an
I just got a little talking point I want
Yeah,
to bring
okay,
up. With this Super Bowl win,
Mm.
where does that rank Hurts now? in terms
As
of
a-
like as a QB in the league? Where does he rank now, in your guys' opinion?
Again, I feel very similar about him. It hasn't changed my opinion on him. He's somewhere between 10 and 15.
Okay.
That's where he is. And with the state of the quarterbacks in the NFL right now, 10 and 15s, between 10 and 15s, you're a very, he is a starter on any team that doesn't have a quarterback, right? He's an instant starter. Anyone would want him who needed a quarterback.
Sure.
But there's probably 12 guys on any given day that you'd be like, I definitely want them over here. If they were all available.
Would you care to name them?
Yeah, we could.
Because I don't think you could name 12 guys.
Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Burrow, Hurts.
Love.
Oh, sorry. Herbert, Jordan Love. Trying to think teams now. Let's just do AFC.
Goff.
Yeah, Goff. I think that's probably unfair. I don't think
No, you're not taking Goff. You're not.
I
taking
think
Goff.
Goff's like a
I'm
10 where
I'm
Hurts.
giving you Jordan Love. I wouldn't take Love, but I'm giving
Oh,
it to
no.
you.
Love's
I'm giving it to
definitely-
you.
So are we talking? Are we
Darnold?
talking about
No.
Darnold? Well, based off 1 year, yes, but he's had one good year, so you can't go with it. Purdy, probably not. Stroud, I'd have over Hurts.
Yeah.
I'd probably take Jaden Daniels over Hurts. You wouldn't take
Oh,
Jaden
you
Daniels?
do?
Nope.
So he's had like the best rookie year in the.
I'm not
His
taking
rookie
him.
year is better than Jalen Hurts' any years in the NFL.
No, I disagree.
Oh, that's mine. Caleb Williams at this point, I would
Oh,
take over Hurts.
No. I'll take
You're
Hurts
taking-
over
If
Williams.
we're ranking quarterbacks,
You're taking 2 rookies over a fucking Super Bowl MVP. You're not serious,
yes,
James.
on talent, they are better players.
Trevor Lawrence.
No, I wouldn't take Trevor Lawrence.
I would. I'll take
No.
Lawrence over
Mate,
Hurts.
no, I don't think I'd take Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, so probably what's I've got 9. So he's probably around 10 to
With
15.
9 and 2 of them are rookies.
I'll take
Dak.
Dak.
Oh yeah, I think Dak's a better player than
Yeah.
Drill. He throws the ball better, but Hurts runs better. So they're the ones that you could probably from like that point on you could argue with them, and,
Yeah.
I'd accept it. So if you said he was 10th,
I
I'd
don't.
accept that.
I
10th
don't
or
agree.
9th.
I don't agree with those 2 rookies. No way.
James-
I'll give you.
I think Daniels is better, but I wouldn't give Caleb Williams from what.
Caleb was just so
As in
talented.
talent, yes, but he hasn't
proved
done
nothing.
enough. Yeah, he hasn't done enough.
Done nothing.
As I said, are we taking quarterback? Are you telling me who would I want if I'm the Eagles? Who would I want?
No,
I
I'm
think
saying
you- I
you
think-
personally, who do you think is better? That's what
Then
I'm asking.
Jalen Hurts
you.
is a
Yeah.
quarterback. Then
Yeah.
definitely those 2, and definitely Goff. Goff's a much better quarterback than Jalen Hurts on a much worse team.
And Trevor Lawrence.
And Trevor Lawrence is a more talented quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
Baker.
Baker's probably the same. I probably feel the same about Baker and him. In a good situation, they're both very good, very
Okay.
capable. Trying to think if I've forgotten anyone.
I
That's
think
off the
if
top of
we're
my head.
doing
That's
a top-
11 guys that I think are better players than him.
Okay.
Now, on the Eagles, there's probably only 5 or 6 guys that I take before Hurts because him on the Eagles is just a perfect match.
True.
So in terms of team, like if we're taking team quarterbacks, so like who's the best team with their quarterback? Hurts is probably 3rd or 4th. He's probably it's probably Mahomes just because he's that good. Burrow, Lamar, and Josh Allen. Then it's Hurts in terms of Hurts on the Eagles, Lamar on
Sure.
the Ravens.
I would still take
With a
Love and
symbiotic
Goff.
relationship.
Maybe.
I'll give you Love. I don't agree with the 2 rookies, and I definitely don't agree with Lawrence.
No, Lawrence is good.
He's so much
Lawrence is
more
a good
talented.
quarterback.
So
Lawrence
much
is
more-
good.
He's
just
had a
such
bad year.
better
He's been
player
injured,
than
but
him.
he's very good.
You're also basing this on the organization as well.
If you swap,
If
if
you
you
take Hurt-
flip Lawrence and Hurts this year, how bad a year has Hurts had at the Jags?
Yeah, but the Jags are a dumpster fire.
But that's the
my
point.
point.
That's the point, though. Like that's
And
that's
then-
how bad it is.
And
that he's-
nobody would be good on the Jags, though. Is my
Exactly.
point.
Exactly. And
that's-
I think Hurts
Would,
would
do
be
you think Joe
worse.
Burrow would be good on the Jags?
Yeah,
No, he wouldn't.
I think he's in that kind of echelon. His numbers would still be pretty
Nah, I
excellent.
disagree.
But how good
think
would
he's still
Trevor
good.
Lawrence be at the Eagles if he's just dicing
Yeah, but-
everyone up?
Everyone would be good at the Eagles because they have a good O line and a good running
That's
back
what I mean.
I don't
So-
know what your
and
point
elite
is. Then.
receivers.
You're proving.
I
our
don't know
point.
what
That's
your
I'm
point
saying.
is.
In terms of
All I'm saying
quarterback,
is I wouldn't take the 2 rookies. That's all I'm saying.
I'll take
I would take
Daniels.
Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams on that Eagles team.
I'm saying
in
not the
a
2 rookies.
heartbeat over Jalen
and not
Hurts.
Jared Goff.
Yes,
And
Goff.
Jared Goff.
for sure.
Goff
yeah.
he would be outstanding.
You know
Look,
what,
you take the tush push away, he's outstanding on that team.
I was watching First Things First.
Yeah.
Which I normally do it just to yell at the screen.
Yes, fair enough.
Today,
As we all do.
but today I watched it just to watch Nick Wright with his Jew nose eat fucking humble pie because I hate him so much. And even him, who's the biggest Jalen Hurts hater and the biggest Mahomes dick rider, we all know that.
Yeah.
Even he made the point that this Super Bowl win now makes him the 5th best quarterback in the NFL.
That's
That's fucking horrendous call.
I thought that was an interesting take.
That's a horrendous
So,
take.
You're
I'm
an
shocked.
Eagles
I'm
fan.
shocked that the only take that Nick Wright's ever had that you like is that take.
Yeah, but that's because we gave him an ass.
That's
whooping.
a
exactly.
recency
Well,
bias.
he didn't give him an ass whooping. I sort of
Yes,
stop
he
pointing
did.
at it.
Yes,
Jalen
he
Hurts didn't give an ass
Yes, he
whooping.
did. He had a hell of a game.
He did exactly what he
He
needed
did.
to do.
He had a great
He had a
game.
good game.
No. He had a
Good.
great game. You can't say he had a good game. He had a great game.
He had a good
He had a
game.
good game.
He had a
The
good
defense won them that game.
Yeah.
Nah, he had a great game.
I'll give all the credit in the world to the Eagles defense and their players and their coach. He did exactly what he needed to do, which is what he's done the entire season, the entire playoffs. He's done exactly what he's needed to do. You put him, there's tractors and there's trailers, right?
No.
And there's quarterbacks that are tractors that pull the whole team.
I don't agree.
He's not one of
Not
them.
in the Super Bowl. No, I don't agree.
How did
because
he
of-
pull that team? You tell me
because-
what he did to
I'll
win that
tell,
game.
I'll tell you exactly what he did
Yep.
when the Chiefs shut down the run completely, which is what
Mhm.
they did.
Yep.
And they almost dared him to throw the ball. That's what they were doing. They're like, we're stacking the box, throw the ball.
Yeah,
and
but
then
his
what
throwing
success
numbers-
did he have not off a turnover?
Yeah, but his throwing numbers weren't great.
Like his numbers were inflated in the second half with those two deep balls
Yeah.
he threw. That's where
Yeah,
he
but
got
he
most
still
of his yards.
threw them and made the fucking throws.
the game was over then. That's what I'm saying. The defense had won the game by then. He could have just sat there and handed off to Saquon for losing 3 yards.
No. The second one was the dagger to Smith. That's what ended the game.
The game. It was
It was
the game
34-0 at that point.
The game was done.
That's what
in
ended the
half
game.
I'm telling you, the game was done by then because the Chiefs
Well,
could not.
I'm sure the
score.
Chiefs thought at 24-0 they still had a chance.
You
Not
just said
against that
before how
defense.
deflated they were and how broken they were. I think they knew they didn't have a
definitely
chance because Mahomes couldn't do anything.
How good was it?
It was great. I'm not saying. I'm not belittling it.
No, he had a
And I don't want to
great game.
shit on Hurts after winning a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl
He had a great
MVP,
game.
but I agree that
There
he's
are
in that
so many quarterbacks.
he's
I
in
can't
that
go
10
with.
to 15 range.
Yeah. And he might be 10. And you know what? There's times where if you argued him at 9, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough. I'll cop my.
Yeah.
I'm not copping 5. He's not. You reckon what would Herbert do on that team?
No, me personally, I'd put him at 8. There's
Again.
7 guys I'd have over him, and
That's-
I'd have him at 8.
And that's not outrageous. I'm just a guess. I'm probably saying I really like Jaden Daniels from what he
Yeah.
did, and he's only going to get better. I agree. I am an absolute I'm going to die on the Caleb Williams bandwagon. I just think
Yeah.
he's so talented.
He's very good. Yeah.
So if you, I'm happy to say you're 8, and I just think there's 2 guys that are slightly better. But in any given day, you could convince me over a beer that that he's better than him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
wouldn't
I'm
be a
saying.
tough
But
argument.
he's-
I don't think
he's
you're
not
real
5
out of line.
spots up.
I'm not saying he's 5th.
Nick Wright said that for clicks. That's what
I'm
he
not
said.
saying he's 5th. I'm saying he's 8th. He's
Did
the 8th best
Did you
quarterback.
just agree with that? He's
No, I said it was an interesting take.
No,
I
he
didn't
said
say I
Nick,
agreed
he
with
said
it.
Nick
Okay.
Wright said he was.
Nick Wright said it. I didn't say
Which
it.
he's doing. Nick Wright doesn't believe that either. That's all
No,
those
it's
shows
good
do is say stupid shit to
Yeah.
try and get people.
I
to
just
click.
thought it was interesting.
Yeah, the fact that but see, this is what Nick Wright does though. Now he's flipping the narrative.
Yeah, he's
right?
deflecting.
He's 100%. He's like having a fight with your missus, right? It's like, I'm wrong here. You came home late 3 weeks ago.
Ah,
No, that's what you miss says to you.
Yeah.
That's what I cop all the time.
That's what
I'm
Nick Wright's doing.
I'm in bloody 4D
I
chess
don't
warfare.
disagree with that.
They
I don't
call
disagree.
it flipping the narrative in the big leagues.
Yeah.
That's what they call it. It's
And-
like,
and also
hey, Nick,
gaslighting.
you're cooked here. Oh,
They're
I'm gonna
also-
flip the narrative.
They're also just
Gaslight.
shock jocks, just trying to get enough fucking shit out there that someone will clip something,
Yeah.
and then Hurts may be a top 5 quarterback at some point. And he goes, "Oh, back 5 years ago, I said that.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
on
yeah.
him early."
Yeah.
If you say enough shit one way or another
Some will
on
stick to the
every
wall.
player,
That's true.
someone would dig it up. Like that's all he's
What
doing.
I know for sure.
That's ridiculous.
is that-
He's not top 5.
No, I don't.
I don't
agree.
think
not
he's
five.
top 10, but I don't want to shit on him because he just won a Super Bowl.
What I know for sure is that wherever he goes, he wins. And
But does he though?
In fairness, he didn't win in college.
He didn't win in
He
Alabama.
got benched at halftime for
Yeah.
Tua
Yeah.
because he was struggling so badly. In the NFL, though, you're right. When he's got into the Super Bowl, he's played very well.
I saw a stat today. He's got the 7th best winning percentage since he came into the NFL.
Well, he played at Alabama. All they do
no,
is
since he
win.
came into the NFL.
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
Eagles,
that makes
Eagles,
sense.
Eagles have had a very good team as well.
They've come into a ready-made team.
7, no, 4, 5, 6 best. 6 best winning percentage.
Yeah,
in
and
his
look,
first
and look
75
who's number
starts.
1 on your thing.
Brady.
Oh, I thought it said
So
30. Sorry.
first 75 starts since 2000
Yeah.
with highest wins percentage. It's Brady, Mahomes, Big Ben, Russ, Lamar, and then Hurts.
And what do all those quarterbacks have in common?
Really good teams and really good
Really good
defenses.
Great teams. That's what I mean.
100%
That's it.
agree.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
baby.
They shout out to Howie, shout out to Sirianni, shout out to Kellen Moore. God, that tastes like vinegar. Shout out to Vic Fangio. But they found a way to
He
build
wasn't
a
bad
team.
at Dallas, though. He was good at Dallas. That
Oh,
offense was really good. under
Everyone
him.
wants to get out of Dallas, mate. He was just the first to start it.
Yeah.
He quit. Like they didn't fire him. They went in for a meeting and he was like, "No, I'm not into what you want to do." And
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, let's just call it." And he was like, "Yeah, cool,
Yeah.
we'll call it."
It was also subpar at the Chargers.
Yeah,
as
he was
well.
terrible at the Chargers. But again, bad offense. It's pretty easy
And
to be an
Stokely's
OC.
a bad head coach.
It's pretty easy to be a good OC when you've got a dominant offensive line, a dominant running back, two. Like I don't think they're dominant receivers, but they're 2 1s. Like, they're
two
genuine
ones. They're
2
ones
1s.
Any other
Who's a
I
better
don't think Devontae Smith's a one everywhere.
who's a better
He's very
duo?
good too.
Who's a better duo than
Yeah,
those two?
there's not many. Oh, maybe Bengals only because Jamar Chase is so good, and then Higgins is really good too.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's,
Thielen and Jefferson were a good one too.
Addison. I would take
No, I'm
Addison
talking
and
about
Jefferson.
current, bro, not like
Okay,
5 years
yeah,
ago.
I was like Addison and Jefferson.
JSN and Metcalf.
No,
I think JSN and Metcalf are probably in the same vein.
they're not bad.
Yeah,
They're not bad.
they're both. They're probably that same level. AJ Brown and Metcalf are different sorts of players,
Yeah,
but
no.
same
AJ,
sort of.
AJ Brown is
sort of
much
level.
better than Metcalf.
I disagree. I think Metcalf does a lot of things. Again,
He played with a torn MCL.
Yeah, I
all year.
think he does a lot of things that AJ Brown can't do, and I think AJ Brown does a lot of things that Metcalf can't do.
And also JSN's a genuine fucking
and
jet.
JSN might be the best slot receiver in the NFL.
Well, statistically already he
Yes,
is.
he's the only player in Seahawks history to have 100 receptions.
Yeah.
So
No, Jason's
like,
good.
again,
I'm not saying he's not good.
Again, it's a fun argument. And this is some stuff we can do in the. I actually want to give a shout out to. I ran into Paul Egan at the Sporting Globe,
Shout out, Paul.
one of our legends. And he said for the off season, can we do some top 10 stuff?
Oh, cool.
Which I thought that'd be fun.
Absolutely.
And we could do fun things like we don't have to do top 10 wide receivers. Let's do top 10 duo receivers
Yeah,
or
or top
top
10
10 offenses. Or
I'll tell you
something
who's
fun
not in
like
the
that.
conversation. Patriots.
No,
They may not even have top 10 NFL receivers.
They have a receiver on the list.
Yeah, that I don't mind that Polk.
they almost cut him.
I know, but I don't mind him.
No, he's good talent. Like, everyone was like, "Why isn't he playing more?" I think he's a knucklehead.
Okay.
yeah.
I think he's a knucklehead. He's physically very gifted.
Anyway, let's not talk about the fucking Patriots shit receivers when we've got a Super Bowl. So
No, but I said
my bad.
I was. Thanks for scolding yourself, Scotty. I was going to wait till the
Hey.
HR meeting afterwards.
That's sick, bro.
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
Self-awareness.
That's
but
my football autism just coming out in
Can-
full shine.
Can we talk about? Is this one of the worst Super Bowls ever?
I agree.
No,
Yes.
obviously not for a fan. But
If
like
you're a
if you're
fan
a
of
football
the
fan, if you're
Eagles-
just watching this game, this is one of the worst Super Bowls I've ever watched.
Yes, I agree.
Because like the Patriot,
I had a dog in the race, so I can't comment.
Yes.
yeah, the Denver Seattle one was really bad too. Just 'cause
But
it was a
the same
bloodbath.
thing. I loved
Yeah,
that.
Exactly.
I loved it.
But in terms of just watching this game, like after the Cooper DeJean pick, I was very, very confident this game was over. Purely just by how much they had dominated
Yeah.
the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And that was, 5 minutes ago in the second half.
Mm,
There's
mm.
not many Super Bowls that you're just like, it's done. Like, what
Yeah.
are we even watching? Like, I've lost interest.
Put it this way: if it was a regular season game, I would have seen what else was on.
100%.
Yeah, I would have cut it off.
Sure.
I would have been watching the Trailblazers versus the Hornets because it was on ESPN too.
Just junking up.
Yeah, I
threes.
just would have been like, that'll be better.
Wow.
I would have been watching
Wow.
Dallas.
That's how bad, and that's a credit to
Would've.
Philadelphia. That's how bad a game it was.
Yeah.
That's a positive thing to Philly. But yeah, as a Super Bowl and as a fan who maybe I knew my team wasn't going to be in it, but if I would have fucking ridden the
Yeah.
Bills home or the Lions. But as like I said, I didn't care who really won. I appreciated both teams. The game was shit.
I have
The
another
game was really shit.
I have another question, and this is obviously all just opinion based. Would have the Super Bowl been better if the Bills or Ravens had played the Eagles?
I think we beat the Bills easily.
I disagree. I think it would have been closer. I think they could have done more to attack you, just
Yeah.
with the way that their
Their
quarterbacks
offense
play
is
and
more
move.
complete.
Yeah, I think you nailed it before with the Chiefs that we were almost miraged by their record, and then the fact that they got over the Bills.
The biggest mirage was, and
Mm.
we spoke about it preview.
Mm.
We said that because you brought it up. Everywhere on the list, Eagles are a better team, top
yeah,
to bottom.
we were pulling
You were-
strings to
you were
try and
just
find
like-
a Chiefs.
you were
team
just like,
selection
oh,
better.
Mahomes and Reed are the great equalizers, so they'll probably win it just because it's Mahomes and Reed's.
And they weren't.
And they
That was it. It failed. It
I still
failed.
stand on the linebackers.
Oh, Nick Bolton is a
Nick Bolton had a great
gun,
game.
and Tranquil's a gun too.
Yeah.
Like the way they shut down, no one shut down the Eagles' running game that well.
They
this year.
they sold out to do it.
Do you
though.
actually know who the other team was that shut it down well? The Dallas Cowboys. The
Cowboys
first
did,
one.
yeah, the
They,
first time,
they
yeah.
were the two teams with
Yeah,
the
we only
least
ran for
rushing
like,
yards.
I think Saquon only ran for like 65.
Yeah,
yards
they only had
or
like
something.
80 yards rushing total.
Yeah,
They
but
were the
just
two
the
teams.
efficient. Like
If you
look
want to
at,
do it,
if you
you
look
can
at the
do it.
yards, you're like, oh, Saquon had 90 total yards. He must have had a good game, but like the efficiency, like they sold out to do it.
Yeah,
And,
they did.
and they expected Mahomes to carry the rest. of
That
them.
was the thing. If they sold out and then the offense had been able to score a few touchdowns, and in the first half in particular, and kept the game close and not had pick sixes and turnovers, like, you're probably going that half going, oh shit, like this is interesting. Like, but it was just ruined because I said the complete ineptitude of the Chiefs offense, which is the most shocking thing of this whole thing of the whole Super Bowl. No one would have picked it to be that bad.
No one would have picked it to be that.
He had 24 yards at halftime and 3 turnovers.
Like I said, they didn't make it. They didn't make it into Eagles territory until 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's crazy, bro.
Wild. All right,
one more topic.
Yeah, one more topic we got.
What did you guys think of the halftime show?
I didn't watch it. I liked it.
Yeah, we didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it at all.
I liked
This is Brock's MO. Hit us with a big
I
dog.
liked it. It was good. It was. People didn't like it because people wanted Kendrick to play his old songs. I liked it. I like his new stuff.
Yeah,
I think it was funny that he just took the shit out of Drake the whole time.
What do you think about that as a narrative? Like, do you think that? Because I'll say this about Kendrick,
I like it.
Like on the records, he sounds like cool, and he sounds like the things that he raps about is like cool and tough, and he's sort of trying to make
The
like,
culture
that he's a gangster and this and that and the other. But when I see him rap on live on TV, I'm like, geez, he's just a small little man.
But it's probably,
and I don't know what it is about small men that try to act tough. I can't take small
the
men
NFL
seriously.
would have screened a lot of it. A lot of it would be you have to do this, this, and this. I don't think he would get a lot of creative say in what happens.
So
he's just so small. I can't take him
I like
seriously. I don't know.
The whole crowd got behind that.
yeah. So George,
Fuck Drake.
if you ever do a halftime show,
Oh,
and the
obviously
person
I won't.
and the person you're doing like about Drake, and he starts a world tour and flies to a different country on the complete other side of the world, and watches your
over here in St Kilda.
No, watches your halftime show from Crown with all these boys like cross-armed.
Yeah,
you win. I don't care how fucking tall you are. It doesn't fucking matter. You can do what the fuck you want.
Can I ask, what does the Super Bowl halftime show have to do with his pathetic beef with another rapper?
Yeah, I
this
agree.
is what's
That's
wrong
my
with the
point.
whole thing.
That's
like,
my point.
He's
No.
we did it before. He's a 37-year-old
No, I know.
man
It's like that's
having
what I
a
was gonna say.
fight
No,
with a
but
rapper about how he's a pedophile or not.
It's multi-level
And
because
that's completely unsubstantiated, by the way,
so
too.
Drake's mentor is Lil Wayne.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Where's Lil Wayne from?
I don't care.
New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans. Yeah,
So everyone thought Lil Wayne was going to do it.
he should have.
Yeah.
So the
He
fact
would have
that
been
it
way
was
better.
Drake's mentor didn't get it.
I just don't get
I
the
like
point
it.
of it.
It's-
Like, just get up and sing some songs and get off. Like,
Too much.
I don't know.
And the other point I wanted to make
like
is
Should
that
have just got Taylor Swift.
he should have.
Yes.
100%.
It was
They
doing.
can't afford
It was
it.
doing way too much.
true.
All this symbolism and all this like different meanings and like this line has 4 meanings and this dance move has this. But like, it's
yeah,
just
the
like,
fact that you have to explain to me like the
Yeah.
meaning of it.
that's what I mean. It's just like it's fucking
Like, just-
lame. It's just lame.
If you actually have good songs, like, no one gives a shit.
Exactly.
what's
Just play the
happening.
fucking songs.
And
You
that's the problem with all these dudes. They're all, and I don't know if it's small man syndrome, but
It
might
is,
be,
bro. That's what
but
I'm
they're all.
saying.
It's as the people booing. It's all just small dick energy, fucking
Yeah.
brawling over dumb stuff that who actually cares.
Like
And then it's like maths for rappers. That's what they're like.
It's the culture.
It is. I'm not,
It's
and
the
again,
culture.
maybe I'm sounding like a real old fuddy duddy.
like I said,
I just saw the meme and I'll post it. I'll send it to you afterwards. It was that halftime show sucked, and it was people with your haircut.
Oh, I didn't think it sucked. I don't like his music. I'm
No,
sure
he's
if you
got some
liked his
good
music,
songs.
he
the
was,
thing is,
he
I
was
like
good.
his music. I like his songs. The
Yeah.
songs are good. And
Yeah.
when I listen to the record, he's cool. But when I see him perform live, I'm just like, he's just a small little guy. Like
I think a lot of it would have been censored by the NFL. He probably
Right.
couldn't act the way he normally acts and stuff like that. And
They did let him say that.
and the
Drake
fact that
was a pedophile.
the second half,
No, they didn't.
That he was A minor.
He didn't say it.
no, the crowd said it for him.
He didn't sing it.
But
Someone had 10 grand on him to say pedophile.
But
bad beat.
the
The
song
fact that
is
he's
about
bad
someone
beat
being a
he's
pedophile.
now using the second half of his career. He's like launched the second half of his career as off a diss track. Is to me that's lame as fuck.
He's the Nick Wright of rappers.
Just
he's just
let the
he's shocked off
let-
in his way.
let your bars speak. Like just chill. And the other point I wanted to make as well, like diss tracks, this and that. Like he thinks he's the king of the fucking diss track now. Like J. Cole fucking
Yeah,
cooked
J.
him.
Cole's.
J. Cole fucking cooked him on 7 Minute Drill.
Yeah.
So much so that he felt so bad about cooking him that he actually pulled the track.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not like I'm pulling it off YouTube. I'm pulling it off the fucking
Yeah.
off Spotify because he absolutely cooked him.
Diss tracks and
Yeah.
small dick energy.
Yeah. You disagree? You don't think
Yeah.
J. Cole cooked him?
He didn't cook him.
He's a
definitely
big Kendrick guy.
What do you think, Scott?
J. Cole absolutely smoked him.
Absolutely smoked
Yeah, he
him,
did,
bro.
he did for sure.
100%.
Well, we'll
It's
we'll
to the
say
point where J. Cole did it, like you said, retracted everything and just went. And then Kendrick released one, and then J. Cole goes, "No, it's already done. Don't worry about
It's
it.
already done, bro. It's finished.
I'm finished with this. Don't worry
Cool.
about it.
Leave
Yeah,
it alone.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
Didn't even respond to the diss track.
Leave it
Yeah.
alone, little boy. I'm
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
I'm done with you. Go away,
Yeah.
little man.
Well, we can continue this on our new podcast we're launching, Rappers with Small Dicks.
Are you
Probably
probably
won't just track. Yeah, well, I'm not a rapper, but I'm sure
I've seen you sing.
I've got 50% of the
You're halfway there.
commutes. I'm
Drake got a hog, and apparently J. Cole does too.
not
Cool.
going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Of course I do. Stop. All right. Anything else? Anything else before we get out of here, guys?
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly Eagles fly.
Race,
And,
let us know. Eagles train to go, baby.
and next week we'll do our awards and a bit of like a season recap that we did last year, and then we'll probably have a week off. And
And let Brock play his gay little clip so we can get out of here.
do you wanna play that?
Just one more time for the memories, boys.
Peace out, everyone.
Peace
out.
Thank you.
I hope the Eagles lose on a call.
All right. Peace out, everyone. Get us out of
That's
here.
that Kendrick small dick energy right there.
Hell of a season, boys. See you
Yeah.
next week.
See you, boys.